Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talking with the Dad. This evening, we'd like to discuss the PlayStation 5. Just announced, Sony coming through. It looks exactly like an Alienware computer.
It does not look like an Alienware computer. Zach,
Steve is just blind. He doesn't understand the way that design and like graphics work and stuff.
Yeah. Also, now that I know that you can't differentiate two different objects, I'd be fine committing a crime against you because you're not going to be able to pick me out in the lineup. You're going to pick the Hawaiian guy like, it was that dude for sure. And I'm standing next to you like,
no, it does. It does. I mean, you're clearly blind. It looks exactly like the Alienware X51.
Define the word exactly in your estimation.
Okay. So it doesn't look exactly like it. They look very similar though.
I would say it looks like they took a page out of that.
Right. They took design liberty from that for sure.
Do you think you could do a screen compare when you do the edit for this? You do a little quickie for the
You just added 30 minutes worth of work to me, but sure, I'll fucking do it.
So what do you think? What are you thinking of the PS5? Next generation console looks like the PS9 from that old PS2 commercial. You might not have been alive for this one.
No, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Like that was an epic commercial, man. I remember that commercial. I remember looking at my buddy and I was like, listen, we gotta work together to get this thing. We cannot be the only broke fools in Manhattan that don't own this console. So I chipped in like $5 on his, and I was like, this was a good deal.
Like I get to play it every third weekend for 6 hours.
Yes, yeah. So we got some exclusives that are obviously going to come with the PS5. We got the new Spider-Man game coming out, and the Sony Sony Marvel universe, their gaming universe, which is obviously going to be a huge deal. Actually, I think that Spider-Man did it way better than the Avengers game is doing it right now. It just, have you ever played it before?
Nope.
Any little bit of it? It is quite possibly one of the funnest games to play. Like just fun, right? It is just a lot of fun. It's actually pretty visually great to look at on a 4K TV. The movement is fluid, so it's going to be great to see how they add to that in the next gen console. Then we got Event Horizon. You got a little sneak peek of that in the reveal there.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Is that the name of the game? The original game is called Event Horizon, so I don't know what the
it's Horizon Zero Dawn. It was the original game.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah.
They revealed Ratchet and Clank as well.
I saw that.
So that'll be an exclusive from what I see. Obviously, Gran Turismo. I actually really enjoy the Gran Turismo games.
Yeah.
So
you're a car racing type of guy, man. You like that stuff.
Yeah. Demon Souls remake. They're remaking Grand Theft Auto 5 for some reason. You know, not like we could get a new fucking game. Thank you, Rockstar.
Boy. The evil's coming out. Folks.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a new Skyrim on here too. The remaster Skyrim for the PS5, I'm sure.
So we got a digital and a physical disc.
Two different editions, right? One that you could use a 4K Ultra Blu-ray, and one that's just digital download. I actually like that idea a lot. The one thing that we missed from this is the price, and this is where I'm hung up.
Okay, I'll let you take it away. Go for it.
I saw somewhere that they said it was going to be $800. I can't believe that. I think you're looking at more like $600. I don't think there's an exact price for the Xbox yet either, right? So if this comes in at $600 and the Xbox comes in at $500, you know, where does the PlayStation really fit in inside of the console generation this year? Because I don't think it does if it's that much more expensive.
Right.
I mean, sorry, go ahead, Stevie.
No. I get you. First of all, I'm firmly in your camp, right? $800. I mean, $700 to $800 would be an obscene amount of money to play for a console. And I'm gonna say it for Zach, if someone hasn't already told you, for $800, you can build yourself a very good mid-range PC. And in fact, with new GPUs coming out soon, some of the GPUs that are out now, we're gonna be looking at quite a bit of a price drop after the whole pandemic situation kind of slows down a little bit. We start getting back to normal shipping rates. But I was just explaining to Zach before the show, I wonder if nostalgia is going to carry the sales of this thing at all, right? I'm wondering if the Sony PlayStation base is going to come out, and I think they will. I think they're going to.
So, but
this is all conjecture. I have no facts.
You don't have a base on this, but my only issue with that idea is that I don't know what nostalgia is there, right? You have nostalgia from things that you did when you were a kid, but
Right.
everyone has a PlayStation now. So there's not a level of nostalgia there. It's just a level of upgrade, right? Like when you get into your 40s and 50s, some guys want to buy the car that they had in high school, right? But
Right.
they didn't have a Corvette in high school, a C4 Corvette, and then when the 5 came out, they got the 5, and then the 6, and then the 7,
Yeah.
and then the 8, right? And then when the 9's coming out, there's not a nostalgia factor for the 9, right? Because they've had every edition up to this point. I don't see a nostalgia factor coming in. I do think that there is a huge PlayStation fan base, and I think that it will sell very well. Obviously, it holds the Japanese market for sure. And a lot of European countries, I believe. Well, I think most European countries are PC gamers, but I think that they follow the PlayStation gang as well.
Right. Gang.
Don't know what I need to see prices first. Right. If this comes in at 500, if this comes in at 550, and the Xbox comes in at 500, and the Xbox is a better console, I think the PlayStation sells better.
So here's the only problem with that, and I agree, right? There's a possible chance where that scenario is extremely true. Any variable is possible at this point. We don't know what price points look like, but here's the one thing that Sony has always had for them over the Xbox: exclusives, content, right? People will.
Xbox has exclusives too, though.
And remember the Xbox's launch. What was their huge drag on their launch? Huh?
Halo. No. Halo's one of the biggest games of all time, and it's exclusive to Xbox.
When the Xbox launched, it didn't have enough exclusive titles, and they're already getting some heat for that. I'm just saying in conjecture sense that Sony is going to be releasing with exclusives already on the table.
Xbox. I'm just looking up for exclusives. Yeah, I don't actually know what the exclusives are. I know they have Forza, obviously Halo. They also have Gears of War. Yep.
Gears.
Oh, fuck.
What else do people play on Xbox? They play
what's
a game?
What do they play? Obviously they play Call of Duty and they play just general stuff. Like the same that you play on PlayStation, right? Your NBA, your Madden, your NHL, the FIFAs, right? Like all of that stuff is all the same. Obviously the new Halo Infinite is going to be coming out. So that'll be pretty big. But I actually don't know what the exclusives are going to be for the Xbox Series X. Chivalry 2, it looks like.
Never heard of it.
The new Yakuza.
I know that was the point of issue from my recollection, and I've heard it spoken of in recent times as well, that when the two PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came out, the huge issue was the lack of content. And when I say lack of, we have to be extremely careful with that term because there was obviously content, just a lack of games upon release. But same thing with the PlayStation 4. I remember buying my PlayStation 4 and buying Black Flags, and then I was kind of stuck in the desert. I was like, all right, I got nothing else to play right
now. When
the
last console launched, the last series of console launched 2013, 2014, whatever it was, there wasn't really many things out at the time. Battlefield 4 had just come out.
Do you remember what I'm talking about? It was just like dry for a long time, wasn't it?
I still think it's fairly dry. There's not many games on either side that would bring me back to wanting to play on a console, right?
Well, you went back for a little while to play what is it? Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, before it was released on PC, but now it's on PC.
Yeah. But you bought an Xbox for that reason, didn't you?
Yeah, because it's the better console.
Shots fired, PlayStation fans.
No, I'm a PlayStation fan at heart, but per the specs, it is a better console. Like it's not hard to figure out when you have hard data in front of you. It's easy to come to a point
Zach, I've told you about this hard data thing before. People aren't interested in facts. People are interested in things that make them feel good. All right, so let's talk about the things that make the people feel good. It's got Type C. Who doesn't love Type C? You love Type C.
I like Type C a lot. I do, but
it's got a create button on it now as opposed to share. You can create things instead of just sharing.
So can you actually edit and such now? I remember we had this conversation.
You know what? I went back on my PlayStation 4 to go check out the share button and what features in there, but there's actually an edit option in there. It's not great. It's not great. No, nothing confirmed. So what did we get today? We got to look at the actual console, which looks like an Alienware, according to Zach. I like the design of it, right?
Yeah, I
Now,
do too. It looks
let's be
good.
truthful, Zach. You're gonna have to wrestle me down because we both know I'm a slave to advertising. On my way home alone today, I nearly stopped 8 times to buy things that I didn't need. So it looks really good to me. I like the design. I like the design of it, and I like the way it looks. I don't know what much else about it though. Is the thing, right?
Right. They didn't give us any sort of hardware specifics, price. Yeah, I mean, it was a visual representation of what the PlayStation
We got to see some
looks
headphones.
like. We got, who cares about the headphones? Who cares about the cameras? One thing I did notice in looking at it, do you remember the PSVR?
Yes.
It has the exact same styling as the PS5.
Really?
Yeah, if you would go back and look at an image of the PSVR really quickly, the headset itself looks exactly like the PlayStation 5. So I guess we got a little bit of a teaser there and we didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, look at that.
It looks very, very similar. Same style as the headset too. If you look at it, the new PS5 headset. There's a media option. They're kind of taking the same route that the Xbox One X did. Overall, I am less excited for the PlayStation 5 than pre-launch. So for me, there was nothing that I saw that I'm like, okay, I need this day one, right?
Yeah.
Right. There was no there's no Killzone, right? We didn't see a Killzone remake like I thought we might. No SOCOM remake. None of the really good old games. They didn't remake MAG. They didn't go back and do these old shooters that I thought would have sold a lot of consoles.
Right.
And there's nothing to draw me in and want me to buy one. So
that's right. You come over to my house, you play mine when I get it. I just got to ask you a quick question though about something not related to PlayStation 5, because right now, here's what you got, folks. Zach's not excited. I'm a little bit more excited, but by the time this thing comes out, I'm going to be frothing at the mouth. But any news on Call of Duty? What happened? Did anything happen today?
No, it didn't look like there was a Call of Duty announcement. I thought there was going to.
I thought I thought I was tripping. I was scouring the internet and I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I texted you the other day saying that I thought we were going to get an announcement today.
Yeah.
And there was nothing. David Vonderhaar, lead designer at Treyarch Studios, who is making this next game. His LinkedIn, this is how deep people go for this shit. His LinkedIn profile indicates that the Call of Duty 2020 is going to be Call of Duty Cold War or Black Ops Cold War. That was seen on his LinkedIn profile. So we got a little bit of that, but other than that, not much. Yeah, there is not. Yeah, right here. Call of Duty 2020 reveal not happening at PS5 event. What else is there, right? There's, they didn't give me a new Grand Theft Auto. They didn't announce any news for the new Elder Scrolls game. There wasn't a remake of a game that I wanted to see, and we didn't get a Battlefield or a Call of Duty announcement today with the PS5. The games were a little lackluster for me. The console itself looks good. I like the fact that they're using PCIe SSD rumored, and I might be making it up for myself. I like Gran Turismo, but that was the only thing that I saw that I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. But I mean, I have enough racing games on my computer that I don't actually need to buy the Gran Turismo, and I probably won't be missing out.
I want to take you with me to, let's just say it's GameStop when I buy this thing, and I want you to keep that same energy while I'm paying for it. I just want you to berate the poor kid behind the thing like, hey, you, I'm not excited for this thing at all. So the one thing I was super pumped up for, and being a Marvel fanboy, and I'll defend it to the day that I die. I am a fanboy, but that quick snippet of the new Spider-Man game, seeing Miles Morales in his costume. Did you see the detail as that explosion or whatever was happening and his costume's tearing? I was like, wow, that looks really good.
Let me stop you here.
That's obviously a cutscene. Yes,
I don't want to curb your excitement, but that's a pre-render. That's not actually in-game engine. That's done in like a blender, or we've seen that time and time again.
Listen to me. I'm not, when it comes to the consoles, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I know that what we see at the reveal is hardly ever, even when we're talking about the cutscenes, is what we're actually going to get.
Right.
It was just actually cool to see that. But we're going to be covering this thing pretty closely. It's either going to be praised on here, or we're going to keep it completely real with you. And we're going to tear this thing down and try to save you.
It's going to go both ways, actually. I'm going to tear it down. Steve is going to be super excited for it and think it's the next coming of the original Nintendo.
Oh, I was like, don't you bring my Messiah into this thing. Here's the thing, though. I want to give another shout out. Let's talk to the fans about this. So we have one fan, a dedicated fan, our boy Wilson, who gave us the scoop that this thing wasn't happening last week. He is actually, interesting story about Wilson. When the PS4 came out, he had it first before anyone else I knew had it, right?
Okay.
And I was extremely jealous. Wasn't happy for him. You're supposed to celebrate your friend's successes. I was filled with envy. And then the next thing happened that made me really angry was he hit me up on the side. And he's like, "Hey, I'm selling my PS4." This is 2 weeks after the thing came out. And he's like, I'm building a gaming PC.
My guy.
So Wilson, we want to hear from you and the other fans. What do you guys think about the PlayStation 5? Give us some shout outs right now. Help me convince Zach of this thing. All right. Well, maybe we'll get him to sell his $2,000 PC and just commit to a lower grade machine. What do you mean,
like the one that I have, the second one that I have sitting right here?
That's how rich he is, folks. He's got a whole nother computer. There are families who don't have a computer, and Zach's got one sitting over there in the corner. He puts his drinks on it.
There's another one over there too.
He's got a MacBook that he uses exclusively to check emails on. Who's got it better than this guy?
There's an Xbox. There's a PlayStation here sitting on top of an Xbox that is sitting under a mouse pad, a $5 keyboard, some tissues, and my box for my Pixel Buds
that he hasn't used yet.
Absolutely, I have used them. Look, the things are sitting right here. They're actually really, really nice.
Oh, they have sound quality.
We'll talk about that on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to Talking with a Dad. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Podbean, soon to be on Spotify, I guess, if I ever get around to it. Don't really care. And the website, talkingwithadad.com. Thank you again for listening.